The office floor was unusually quiet. Everyone had been called in. A full staff meeting. Unexpected. At the front stood the CEO's wife. Elegant. Confident. Unapologetically sharp. Her name was Vanessa. Beside her, a man stood calmly. Simple shirt. No expensive watch. A single dad. His name was Ryan. He didn't look nervous. But he also didn't look like he belonged. At least, not in her eyes. Vanessa crossed her arms. "I've reviewed performance reports," she said. Her voice carried authority. Cold. "And I've decided we need to make changes." Employees shifted slightly. Because that tone never meant anything good. Her gaze landed on Ryan. Direct. "You," she said. The room froze. Ryan looked up. "Yes," he replied calmly. Vanessa took a step forward. "You've been late." Distracted. "Inconsistent," she said. Whispers began. Quiet, uncertain. Ryan didn't interrupt. Didn't defend himself. Because he knew what this moment was. "My child has been sick," he said simply. A pause. Vanessa didn't soften. "This is a company, not a charity," she replied. The words landed hard. Too hard. Some employees looked down. Others glanced at Ryan. Sympathetic. But no one spoke. Because this was power speaking. Ryan nodded slowly. "I understand," he said. Vanessa tilted her head slightly. Almost surprised by his calm. "Good," she said. Then, without hesitation, "You're fired." The words echoed across the room. Final. Public. A few gasps. Someone dropped a pen. Ryan stood still. No reaction. No anger. Just silence. Vanessa turned slightly. "Already moving on. HR will handle the paperwork," she added. Like it was routine. Like he didn't matter. Ryan glanced around the room. At the people watching. At the silence. Then, he did something unexpected. He smiled. Not bitter. Not sarcastic. Calm. And that made Vanessa pause. Because that wasn't the reaction she wanted. Or expected. "Is there something funny?" she asked. Ryan shook his head. "No," he said. A pause. Just, interesting timing. The room grew quieter. Because now, something felt different. Vanessa frowned slightly. "What does that mean?" she asked. Ryan reached into his pocket. Pulled out a small card. Placed it gently on the table in front of her. "Before I go," he said. "You might want to look at that." Vanessa glanced down. Annoyed. But as her eyes focused, her expression changed. Confusion. Then disbelief. Because the card wasn't an employee badge. It was an ownership card. With a name. Ryan Hale. And beneath it, majority shareholder. The room didn't just go quiet. It froze. Vanessa stared at the card. As if it might change. But it didn't. Her grip tightened slightly. "This isn't funny," she said. Ryan remained calm. "I'm not joking," he replied. A pause. Then, he reached into his folder. Pulled out a document. And placed it beside the card. Official. Stamped. Signed. Proof. Vanessa's eyes scanned the page. Faster now. Her confidence slipping. "Majority shares," she whispered. Someone in the back gasped. Because that meant one thing. Control. Complete control. You own the company? She asked slowly. Ryan nodded once. Yes. Silence stretched across the room. Every employee watching. Every assumption. Falling apart. Vanessa shook her head slightly. No, this doesn't make sense, she said. Ryan tilted his head. It doesn't, he replied. She looked up at him. Really looked this time. Not at his clothes. Not at his position. But at the man she had just fired. You've been working here like a regular employee, she said. Ryan nodded. I wanted to understand the company from the inside, he explained. A pause. And the people in it. The words landed heavily. Because now. This wasn't just a reveal. It was an evaluation. Vanessa swallowed. And you let me, she started. Fire me? Ryan finished calmly. She didn't respond. Because there was no defense for that. Ryan stepped slightly closer. His tone still steady. You didn't ask why I was late, he said. You didn't ask what was happening. A pause. You made a decision based on assumption. Every word. Clear. Measured. Unavoidable. Vanessa's authority. Gone. Replaced by something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. I was doing my job, she said quietly. Ryan nodded. No, he replied. A pause. You were exercising power. The distinction. Sharp. Real. Behind them. Employees shifted again. Because now. They understood. This wasn't just about him. It was about all of them. Ryan glanced around the room. I built this company on respect, he said. Not fear. The words carried weight. Because they weren't loud. They were true. Vanessa lowered her eyes briefly. For the first time. I didn't know, she said. Ryan answered immediately. You didn't try to. Silence again. He picked up the card. Holding it lightly. I came here to see how people are treated when no one is watching, he said. A pause. Turns out. I didn't need to stay long. The message was clear. And for the first time. Vanessa wasn't in control anymore. No one moved. No one spoke. Because the balance of power had just shifted. Ryan stood at the front now. Not louder. But stronger. Vanessa still held the document. But it no longer gave her control. It only reminded her of what she had done. She started. Her voice. Not sharp anymore. Just human. I made a mistake. The words felt unfamiliar in that room. Because she had never needed to say them before. Ryan watched her quietly. Not interrupting. Not rushing her. I judged you without understanding, she continued. I treated your situation like a weakness. A pause. And I was wrong. The admission settled across the room. Heavy. Real. Ryan nodded once. Yes, he said. Not harsh. Not gentle. Just honest. Vanessa exhaled slowly. What happens now? She asked. The question. Simple. But everything depended on it. Ryan looked around the room. At the employees. At their faces. At the silence they had lived in. Then back at her. This isn't about punishment, he said. A pause. It's about correction. He stepped forward slightly. You forgot what leadership means, he continued. Vanessa didn't argue. Because now. She understood. Ryan placed the documents on the table. Calm. Deliberate. Effective immediately, he said. You're removed from executive authority. A sharp inhale spread through the room. Because even now. It was shocking. Vanessa closed her eyes briefly. Then nodded. Accepting it. Because she knew. It was deserved. You'll remain with the company, Ryan added. But not in control. A pause. You'll rebuild trust, like everyone else. The message was clear. No shortcuts. No titles to hide behind. Vanessa looked up. This time not as a boss. But as someone learning. I will, she said quietly. Ryan nodded. Then turned to the rest of the room. From today forward, he said. No one here gets punished for having a life outside this office. A ripple moved through the employees. Because those words mattered. If someone says they're struggling, he continued. You listen first. You decide later. Silence. But different now. Hopeful. Real. Ryan picked up his phone briefly. A photo appeared. His child. He looked at it for a second. Then put it away. Because that was why he was here. Not power. Not control. But purpose. He turned back to the room. Meeting dismissed, he said. Simple. Final. People didn't rush out. They stayed. Processing what just happened. Because they had just witnessed something rare. Not a fall. But a reset. And sometimes. The strongest leaders aren't the ones who rise quietly. But the ones who reveal the truth. When no one expects it.